Welcome guys to another video, Vinyl Addict, and this video is number 5 in my soundtrack series, and I'm doing Death Proof, the Quentin Tarantino movie, and this is a tricolor limited edition. It says right there on the hype sticker, and let's take a look at this. Little sheet here with all the different songs. There it is, red, black, and white. I like the little label. And here's the inner sleeve. QT plays the bartender in this film. And stars Kurt Russell as stuntman Mike, and he drives this car, which is death proof, which is a term they use in the stunt world where it's set up so that you can't be killed in it when driving and performing these stunts. And I guess it was a thing in the 70s, and they Quentin kind of goes into the culture of all this stuff of stuntmen and made this film where the stuntman Mike is a serial killer. And along with it, he kills young women. And I guess the 3 women in this film would be, one of them is Rosario Dawson, Vanessa Burlito, and Jordan Ladd. And it's kind of cut up in like 2 films, these first set of women and these next set of women, and the in between that bridges it together is the father and son sheriff that you see in all the other different Quentin Tarantino films. Now, this soundtrack is probably out of all the ones that he has, it's one of my favorites because it's a more of a rock, like late 60s, early 70s kind of compilation. It starts off with The Last Race with Jack Nietzsche, and that's so the opening credits. When you see that when the film begins and you see Jordan Ladd, she's the one who is the DJ in the movie. She plays the disc jockey, and she's just always showing her feet in the film. And pretty much, I think that's a Quentin Tarantino thing. He always just has women's feet. He did that pretty much on the last film with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where Robbie, she was showing her feet all the time, whether she was watching herself as Sharon Tate in the movie theater. So there's a lot of that going on in here. And Jack Nietzsche, the opening song, The Last Race, is really cool. He's a guy, if you're a Rolling Stones fan like myself, you pretty much know who this guy is. He's played on from the first album up until like mid 60s albums. He played on Painted Black. He's a piano keyboard player, so he does like sessions, and he's also written the choral arrangement for You Can't Always Get What You Want. So he's pretty instrumental in the Rolling Stones history, and he creates these cool little trippy songs like The Last Race, which was cool that he put it on here. Of course, it's a QT movie, so they always have dialogue in it and snippets from the film. And this one, there's not that many, and the ones that they do pick, there's like 3 on here. One is Eli Roth. It's called Planning and Scheming with Michael Bacall, which is a scene about these 2 guys trying to get these girls into a cabin, and they're scheming on what they're gonna do and try to get them drunk, pretty much. And the other ones is Rose McGowan and Kurt Russell. They're at the bar, and she's all asking him, "What's your name?" And he's like, "Stuntman Mike." And why do they call you Stuntman Mike? Are you Stuntman Mike? And it's a small little clip. And if you've seen the movie, if you're a fan of the film, I like the film a lot. It's one of his most underrated films. It came after, I believe it came after the big Kill Bill epic 1 and 2, and so he kind of went low key on this one and just did this kind of like, it's the shortest film he's done. It's like 90 minutes, and it's really paced really well, and that's why the soundtrack isn't that lengthy, and but it has some great songs, and one of them is Jeepster by T-Rex, which was just in a 7-inch single, and Jeepster is like one of his famous songs. The coasters, now that's the one thing about a Quentin Tarantino movie. There's always a particular scene in his film where I believe, I don't know if the song comes first, or because I know that he likes to write to music, and I think he thinks of certain songs to put in certain scenes. And for the lap dance scene that Vanessa does for Kurt Russell, yeah, he picks the coasters down in Mexico, which is really great. And just like in, Pulp Fiction, where they have, their dance off, or certain scenes, like the dance off, he had the Chuck Berry song. Or in Reservoir Dogs, he had Stuck in the Middle by Steeler's Wheel, when he was, Mr. Blonde was going to cut off that guy's ear. So there's always certain scenes where certain songs are I believe that he kind of just chooses them, and it works really well. And for this movie, it was Down in Mexico is one of those ones. And the Hold Tight, the Dave D, Beaky, Macon, Tick, Desi song, when when the girls were gonna get hit by the car, and they're listening to that song, and it's just crazy, and it's it worked really well. I mean, it's just like the songs that he picks for his movies, and he's fans of these songs, which is cool. And what else did he have here? He had Willie DeVille. It's So Easy. Willie DeVille is, he goes back to the early punk scene in CBGB's. His band was the house band in CBGB's, and It's So Easy is a great song. And then ends off with April March is one of the songs that I like on here, called Chick Habit. And it was such a weird ending of that film, or it was kind of just like a happy ending, and much unlike some of his other films, and so this last song is kind of quirky, So all in all, I'm probably gonna do some other Quentin Tarantino films soundtracks, because they're really good, and but this one I wanted to do because I took it out and I played it really loud, and I was like, fuck, this album, it fucking kicks. It, just from the opening song, just like with Pulp Fiction, they open up with the Dick Dale song, and this was probably one of those great songs that opened up his film as well. It's not as, I don't know if it's as memorable, of course, as the Pulp Fiction song by Dick Dale than this one, because I think that film was just hyped up so much, and I mean, everyone's seen that film, and it was just won so many awards. But for an opening song for a film, I think this one is just as powerful and really effective. And so if you ever get the chance, listen to Jack Nietzsche's The Last Race, and get this Death Proof album and this limited tri-colored vinyl. I don't know if it's out there anymore. And here's the back. There's that little ducky. And it seems like the film was set in the 70s, I believe, but because he has all these muscle cars in it. And of course, there's a great race scene or chase scene in the film, which they weren't using, no effects. They were real stunt people doing it. I mean, they were really doing the chase scene where they're driving like 80 miles per hour, 100 miles per hour. And Zoe Bell, who was in Kill Bill, she's in this film and she's on the hood of the car, you know, and that's like the big scene in the film. So check out the film if you haven't seen it. I'm sure, you know, but the soundtrack is really good. So that's my video for today on soundtracks. That's number 5. I think I am gonna, you know, pull out some of their other ones and listen to them and make a video on them, because the Quentin Tarantino soundtracks, you know, they really kind of changed the game in the 90s when it made soundtracks more exciting again. So like, share, comment, and, you know, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and I'll see you guys in the next video.